So the Snyder Cut's been out about a week or two now. Most people have seen it or at least gone through it finally. I think the 4 hour watch time was a lot for some people, but the good thing about the movie is it has these checkpoints, so anybody can get through it and take their time with it. It's been interesting to watch the articles drop on this movie. Screen Rant put this one out. The Snyder Cut proves Warner Brothers took out their best chance to compete with Marvel, and I agree with that. I wasn't a big fan of the Man of Steel or Batman vs. Superman. I do like the casting, though, for those two characters, and I thought if you could just give these guys really good material, man, you could have a great movie. And Snyder Cut really shows that off. I think Ben Affleck is the best thing to come out of the Snyder movies. And the Snyder Cut actually proves if you just gave this guy a chance, he could do a good movie. That movie was, I liked it a lot. I didn't think I was going to like it because I don't know how I felt about the way he was taking these characters. But Snyder Cut really did pay off. I enjoyed that movie, and I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I liked it a lot. I was really surprised how much I liked it. But, of course, there's two sides to this. You have some articles that will praise this movie, and then you get stuff like this. This is from The Verge. Suicide Squad's first trailer steals all the color from the Snyder Cut. Basically saying that this movie is stealing all of that movie's momentum, which I disagree with. Snyder Cut's on like its second week, I think. Maybe it's third. I don't remember the exact date the movie came out. But, as movies come and go, they lose their momentum a little bit. But I don't think this movie has stolen anything from the Snyder Cut. Remember I showed you in a video not that long ago that the Snyder Cut beat Falcon and the Winter Soldier's premiere by about 100,000, which is pretty significant. It beat the premiere of a Marvel property as far as household numbers. When the remastered 4K version of Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition dropped the Monday after the Snyder Cut dropped, it was sold out everywhere. I think that hasn't changed. I'm still waiting on my copy from Amazon. It says I won't get it till May 26th or something. So I don't believe the momentum has been snapped from anything. And you're not going to tell me a trailer drops and kills all the momentum. But this is the kind of propaganda that they put out against stuff that they don't like. And they especially don't like that the fans are enjoying it. The fact that people are pushing for restore the Snyderverse. That hashtag got over 1 million tweets the other day, which is pretty crazy. It trended. Well, it keeps trending. It keeps coming back. So you can't tell me that this stole all of the momentum. It was an okay trailer, and I'm interested in watching it. I'll watch it. I like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I thought the trailer looked fun, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to blow anybody away. It's just going to be an okay comic book movie. That's my opinion. That's what I think it'll be. But this isn't where the propaganda stops. This has got to be one of the funnier articles that I've seen so far. It's from CBR, because of course it is. They compete with Screen Rant for who can put out the most shit. Even though Screen Rant put out a good article right here, I thought this was a fine article. And it's right. They killed their chance to compete with Marvel. This movie managed to set characters up without giving them solo movies. Like Cyborg and Flash. Flash is so annoying in the Whedon cut. In this one, he's likable. Cyborg, you actually understand the character. That he doesn't just show up and stalk Diana Prince like he did in the Whedon cut. He's a well-developed character. But anyway, let's move on to this one. So if you've seen the Snyder Cut, or at least the trailer, there's a beautiful scene between Barry Allen and Iris West. I think it's probably the best scene in the movie. Basically, if you haven't seen it, let me describe it to you. Barry Allen is putting in a job application at this pet store, looking for work, and a car crash happens. Iris West goes flying out of her car, so in slow motion, he busts through the window and saves her. That's pretty much it. But if you know the history of these two characters, these two are a couple. They've been a couple for a long time. And the way it's set up is she's staring at him the whole time, almost like she sees him. And he's looking into her eyes the whole time. And you can tell that there's a connection there. She's going to be in his solo movie too, by the way. And what happens is he's like love struck by her. And he stares at her and he brushes the hair out of her face. And then he slowly saves her, lays her on the ground. He comes out of the Speed Force and they're kind of having a connection and staring into each other's eyes. It's a good scene. Probably, I think, the best scene in the movie. But of course, that's problematic. Why is it problematic? Well, he goes in and he touches her face. It's toxic. It's toxic. I can go through this a little bit. We're not going to go through the whole thing here. What's funny is they say it deserves to be cut. This should have never been. This was the best scene in the movie, I think. This is my favorite scene. Adding some depth to Barry Allen isn't the problem. Snyder spends most of his movie making Flash more likable, but in this scene, he comes off as toxic, and it doesn't really paint the speedster in the most altruistic light. The moment focuses on him applying for a job at a doggy daycare, locking eyes with Iris as she leaves. It's melodramatic and romantic, similar to what's been done on the CW, but it begins to go wrong when she drives off. The scene's set in slow motion, with her not taking her eyes off Barry, which is strange because her car's in motion. Because she's driving. You know, everyone's checked people out when they're driving. This is how you can tell that NPCs have never been in a real relationship. The fact that they think it's toxic, that like two people, like, boom, have instant chemistry and kind of fall for each other, proves that these people have never had anybody love them. They've never had like an intimate relationship. They're just like, they scare everybody off. Or like when you meet somebody, they have you sign like all kinds of forms and stuff. At the light, she's T-boned by a truck whose driver was trying to find his burger that fell on the floor in what's a really ridiculous set of unfortunate events. As Iris' car flips and she's tossed out, Barry speeds to the glass, but rather than grab her midair immediately, he grabs a hot dog from a cart that was thrown in the air and uses the Speed Force in stalking. Well, he grabs the dog to impress the woman he's trying to get a job with, which they're leaving out. Is actually clever because he grabs the hot dog and then to cover up, because, you know, he's thinking fast on his feet, actually shows that he's a smart and clever character. When this is all over, the lady that he's trying to get the job from at the pet store like is looking for him, and he acts like he was a coward and ran to protect the dogs. And he acts like he's like, "Oh, look at this hot dog I have here. I always carry one in case the dogs get anxiety." It gets him the job, basically. It's clever, but they're complaining now about that, which is proving that this writer is not very clever. So he says he fawns over Iris for a long moment, even brushing her hair out of her face. This goes on for way too long, and in the end, it's a total invasion of privacy. Snyder tries to lighten the mood by setting it to Rosebeth's piano cover for Song of the Siren, but even that can't mask the toxicity. Barry eventually sets her down before running away as his vehicle explodes, but while the intention is to show him saving a damsel in distress, it really depicts him as a creep. Of course, Snyder did cut that horrific shot of Barry falling onto Wonder Woman's chest when they suit up later on, but that doesn't help that Barry goes on to oogle Diana and ask Cyborg if she thinks if he thinks she dates younger guys, which is a funny thing because he's like, she's 120 years old, man. Or however old. That is a funny moment. First off, that scene where Barry falls onto Wonder Woman was a Whedon edition, which shouldn't surprise anybody knowing who Joss Whedon, the male ally, is. But these people are so crazy that him checking out Diana and asking Cyborg if he thinks that she would date him is toxic. These people have never had relationships. I don't know how it's possible for them to have relationships because how would they even approach each other? You know what I'm saying? How do two NPCs approach each other for a date? Well, they don't. They use web dating, or what is it? Those dating apps. Never, like, what a waste of time. Just go meet somebody. I mean, you could tell if somebody's, it's all about eye connection. But anyway, we don't need to go into this. These people have never been on dates without using whatever the hell popular app there is for using to meet people. I don't know. I've never used those stupid things. But, you know, it just shows how these people are so afraid to make a human connection. And even if they do make a human connection, they scare the person off because they're constantly looking for a reason to cancel everybody they know. These people will cancel their own family. This is why every time, like, you know, Thanksgiving or Christmas rolls around, what do? Well, we're going to talk about why you need to confront your family on Thanksgiving about their politics. How to deal with your orange man bad supporting uncle. They don't know how to turn it off. They don't know how. So anyway, they're going to say he doesn't respect boundaries. He's saving her life and was love struck. She was obviously love struck too. What a stupid article. But this is how far they'll go to attack this movie. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.